dating. Oh my God, the latest thing is all these young, wonderful women are dating these narcissists or these guys that just are not checking it off, but they love bomb them. And so they're in these relationships and they're being disrespected and they're not being taken care of. And it's just not going well. So I say, okay, well, that's the habit of you picking a guy because he made you feel loved. Fuck that. Let's make a list,
Yeah.
like, and figure out, what do you want, in a guy? Do you want them to be funny? Do you want them religious? Do you want them to be ambitious? Do you want them to be a cook? Do you want them to go to the snow vacation or the beach Like, let's make a wish list. And then when you meet someone, it's not, oh, he's cute, he has a car and he likes me. No, 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 no. Do you like him? You're interviewing him to see if he fits into your world. So it's really about taking back the power.
Yeah.
I teach tools and ways to do that. I teach tools to how to let go of negative thinking and to really try to wake up every day grateful.
Yeah.
Like, grateful, what do you have? You have a roof over your head, you have food, you took a breath, you're ahead of the game. Relax.
Yeah.
Gratitude and just enjoying nature. And so
Yeah.
people sometimes just need to be shaken a bit and taught to
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah. And it's so as I'm listening to you and I think about the changes that I made, I know that change could be a scary word of like you said, but in order for me, like I knew I wanted my life to be a certain way and it wasn't that way, right? But I started to make changes and it was I needed to spend more time on me, right? So I woke up earlier. So I started waking up earlier. And when I woke up earlier, what made me feel good at that time when I first started, it was I need to get back. I didn't feel good in my skin. I needed to get my body where I wanted to go because I wasn't, right? So I didn't feel good in my skin, didn't feel good in my body. Woke up earlier, started going to the gym.
Oh, you did that crazy stuff
I
and you
did
did.
CrossFit for a while, right? So I started with that and it was like once I started to work out and walk or I did Tough Mudders, I did all of that stuff and
Good
my
stuff.
body completely changed, but my mind went with it too, because in a positive way. I started to feel better about myself. I started to eat better. Man, food changes the way we feel. Food is like what a trigger to make us feel, we think makes us feel good for a short period of time and then we feel very crappy. But you
But we
know,
also have to be able, like, if you want a hot fudge cake with ice cream on it, you should have it without guilt or shame.
exactly, right? And
So
but
food
and
really
no.
tricks us a lot.
Yes. So it's ways of like balance. So it's your relationship with food. It's your but I really then started to, I felt so much better, right? But I still had these limiting beliefs of I'm not good and I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm going to lose my job. I had all these limiting beliefs. So I felt better with myself and my skin, but my mind was still telling all of these stories. And then I started to journal because again, I started to take care and I started to watch videos. I started to, and then you always helped me through. You took your workshops out here. You had them when you were still on Long Island.
Oh, yeah.
But another thing that I do to today is journal. So in the morning, I take my time and I journal in my book. And first, I brain dump of whatever is on my mind, and how I want my day to go. I'll write about how I want my day, but I'm always writing three things at the end as if they already exist. And these are three things that I want to have in my life. And now it could happen to me in a year. It could happen to me in 6 months. It could take 2 years. It could take 3 years. But I write these down as if they already happen. What's important in that? It's not just about writing down these three items as if they already exist and I'm loving it.
But that's how we have to think about everything.
Right. But I also write down action steps that I'm going to take this day to get a little bit closer, right, to each one of these things. And I make sure I do that. I make them realistic things, but I make sure I'm always taking action to get closer to that.
I love that.
Because if we don't, we do have to like think about it and know that we want to do
Just
it, but
one
we need to take
example.
action. If you don't take steps to get there, that's how you're going to
Can
get
you
there.
give one example? Like one of the things you see and then what kind of action step
Well,
you
I can give you two that I used to write. Now they're not
take?
on my list anymore, but I've done them both. One works out great and I'm happy about it. The other was the business that I owned. So I was writing in the book that I wanted to own my own business in health and wellness, right? So that was one thing. And then I always, from when I was a little girl, wanted to own a house in Mattituck, Long Island. So I kept writing that on there that I am a successful business owner in health and wellness. And then I started to do my research. So I was doing research on businesses that were health and wellness related. And I came across a massage and facial company, and they are a franchise. And I started to do my due diligence. So I would write it every day as if it's already done, how great it is. I love having it, and I get a massage every week, and and really visualize and write like how when clients walk in, how like they're looking forward to, getting their massage and how relaxed when they walk out and how they're greeted when they walk in the door, how they're greeted when they're finished with the massage and they're ready to leave. Like I would write it down like it's really happening. But so then I just started to take the steps and engaging this franchise and having those meetings and doing my research. So every day I would continue to take steps to that.
Hmm.
Now, I ended up owning a franchise. I've learned a lot about it.
You manifested it.
I invested a lot in that education. Let's just, there. And the same thing with the house in Mattituck. It was about always wanted one on Long Island, out in Mattituck. It was very specific to Mattituck. And I would write in there that celebrating the holidays out there with my family, would write in there like when Jake gets older, he will go there with his family. And with that is I just always kept an eye on the market. I would just see what's going on out there. And I also had a place in New Jersey that I knew at some point I would sell it.
Mhm.
And I just always just stayed connected because I knew that at some point something was going to click. So I would always, whenever I was out there, I'd always look and what's up for sale, what's happening in Mattituck. So I always went out on the North Fork, but I also just was very intentional on signing up for things to get information about what was going on in Mattituck. And once the opportunity came and it felt right, and then it was just like, boom, sold the house down in New Jersey, bought this. But it wasn't anything that was by this date, I needed to have it done.
No, no, no. But you
And those
did.
two things happened. Now, one, I don't own that business anymore. And I know that as this new journey that I am embarking on with helping others, I'm sharing my journey and what worked and what didn't. But I needed some help like from you and others to get me through that. And I'm
Okay.
grateful for it. And I know that I'll help someone who ends up in a
100%.
situation with
Maybe
that.
many people. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but journaling is a big part of my life, and I love it. I have a whole cabinet full with my journals, and I still have them. And everyone's like, "Oh, if what if somebody reads them?" I'm like, let them read them if they like. Listen, it is brain dump. I'm sure like there's stuff in there about my ex-husband. There's stuff in there about my family. There's stuff in there about friends, and there's stuff in there, good, bad, and the ugly is in there. You want to read it, read it. I have nothing like, but it's
Very
just
feeling to brain dump because it purges good feelings, but and then you get to review them and really see how you feel about everything.
yeah,
Very important skill. I
yeah,
agree with you.
yeah. So it's like, so it's what do you really want?